So it is now the Sunday after the Pittsburgh Steelers just blew the game against the Cincinnati Bengals on January 4th, 2025. And having to sleep on it, having to think about it, having all this stuff come out, I decided to make a video on this. Welcome to the channel. If you haven't been here already, my name is Gyro. And haven't made a video in a while because just with a lot of stuff going on in my own life, didn't have really time to sit down and digest things. But I think this is a dire situation. I really have been thinking about this for a long time. This has been the only thing going through my mind. And it's just like, where do the Pittsburgh Steelers go from here? They are in purgatory. They are in absolute purgatory. They cannot leave this cycle of just getting to 10-7 and just falling flat on their face. It is unbelievably embarrassing. It sucks to be a fan. It really does at the moment. Really, really does. And I keep hearing people like, oh, you know, how many teams would kill to be in your shoes? How many fans would kill to be in your shoes? All this stuff. And I'm just like, do they really want this? Do they really want this? I know people that have graduated college. The last time the Steelers won a playoff game, they were in middle school. I know people that are graduating high school. The last time the Steelers won a playoff game, they were in like the 5th grade. That's the last time they won a playoff game. You know how much happens in life during those times? Some people get out of college, now they have kids. Grown-up kids, or like not grown up, but like, you know, kids. Last time they won a playoff game, they were still studying in school. You're telling me other fan bases want that? Of just constant disappointment? This isn't like some ordinary franchise either. This is a franchise that has 6 Super Bowls. This is a franchise that is the model of consistency, of like legacy. And you tell me they haven't won a playoff game since 2016? Mind you, they've had all pros upon Pro Bowlers in that span. They had a damn Hall of Fame quarterback. They had the best wide receiver in the NFL. One of the best wide receivers of all time, to be honest with you. A top running back. And then after that, top-tier defenders on every level of the ball. And they could not win a damn playoff game. Where do the Pittsburgh Steelers go from here? That's just what I'm looking at. I'm trying to figure this out. Obviously, we saw it last game. If you guys haven't seen last game, I don't know, you know, how you haven't seen the last game. I feel lucky. I feel like you guys are lucky that you missed it. Because that might have been the worst coached game I've ever seen. And that is saying something. I had to watch Matt Canada, to watch all this stuff. That was one of the worst coached games I've ever seen in my life. How pathetic of a display was that entire game? I mean, good Lord. This team comes back from a 3-game skid against, okay, arguably the 3 best teams in the NFL. If this team wants to win Super Bowl, those are games that you at least keep close. All 3 of them got their butts handed to them, just absolute smacked. You get 11 days, you basically get a bye week to go into this game against Cincinnati. And what do these guys do? They fall flat on their face again. It's the same stuff again and again. And there's a common denominator. There is a common denominator, and that man is Mike Tomlin. And before I get into Mike Tomlin, I want to just say the coordinators, they're also absolutely terrible. Terrell Austin, with all the talent you have on that team, you are a joke of a coordinator. And that's like, I get that the secondary is just filled with a bunch of guys that should be working at McDonald's. I understand that. That Omar Khan is not. He deserves a lot of blame too. So don't get me wrong. Omar Khan deserves a lot of blame. But Terrell Austin, man, I just cannot believe how bland your defense is. Truly, it's like, it's unbelievable. How none of these coaches can get these players to be playing at a level higher than what they actually are is just unbelievable to me. All these guys regress. It makes no sense at all. They either plateau or they regress. I don't see these guys upping their level of play. Because they get put in positions where they just get screwed. Sometimes Corey Trice is out there on an island. On an island. There's no one even near freaking Jamar chasing him. And he has to go guard the best receiver in the NFL. My freaking foot, dude. Good freaking calls by Terrell Austin. And you know what? I don't even know if it's all Terrell Austin. I'll get to that in a second, because when you look at the offensive side of the football, it's the same thing I've seen for 5 years. Post Ben. Even post Killer B kind of Ben. Where this team just doesn't know what the hell to do with calling plays. It's unbelievable. I'm sitting here, I think I saw someone talking about first half, I think almost every single first down the Steelers had in that first half, even probably in the damn third quarter too, every single first down was a run. And it wasn't just some shotgun runner. It was under center, freaking toss it to freaking Najee Harris, who might be slower than some D linemen in the league. Probably some O linemen too, to be honest with you. The way that they're freaking, the way the O line, how athletic those guys are now. You're running toss plays with this guy. It goes nowhere. You're not fooling anyone. You're not doing anything. But then that's the same predictability that's been there, I'm telling you, for years with 3 different offensive coordinators. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, this means that Matt Canada isn't as bad. This means that freaking Randy Fichtner wasn't as bad. Those guys actually were the worst. There's a reason why they don't coach in the NFL anymore, because these guys actually sucked. They didn't bring anything. Arthur Smith is a slight step up, because he has some plays where at least guys are getting schemed kind of open. But there's just a thing with the game plans, and it just is so weird to me. The way the game plan, they try to fit a freaking square in a circular hole. They continue to do this, and it's who's been there for the whole time? It's Mike Tomlin. So where do the Steelers go from here? Where do they go from here? And it has to start with upper management. It has to start with the head coach. And I'm not trying to sit here and say that Mike Tomlin should be fired, because at this point in time, the way that people treat Mike Tomlin, this man has the best PR team I've ever damn seen. Because you cannot touch this dude at all. You cannot say a bad thing about this guy in the slightest. This man is untouchable in the media. And to the players. The players love this man. And it seems to work. It seems to be the reason why the Steelers can get some of these guys in free agency, can get some of these guys to play for them. It seems to work. And that's why I don't think you can get rid of Mike Tomlin. But I think if Art Rooney really cares about this team, he's got to talk to Mike T and be like, hey, man, you can't run this team the way you are without changing, without getting other help, without getting other coaches, and just being the authoritarian, the dictator of the team, which of course the head coach should have some authority, should have a lot of authority. But when you try to get into places where you just don't belong, this dude does not know offense. I'm convinced this guy does not know offense for crap, and he's been coaching for years with the best offensive players in the league, and this guy doesn't know a thing about offense. He shouldn't be involved that much on the offensive side. Get him he deserves some involvement, but get a guy that can just, I know what I'm doing. This is my offense. I want to run this offense. I want to do this. And then Tomlin can be like, okay, well, I want to work some things in. I want you to do some of these things, tweak it a little bit, situation like third down and short, fourth down and short. If I want to sneak, I want to do a fake, obviously consult the head coach, but get a guy that just that's his, and then do the same with the defense, because at this freaking point, this team cannot beat good teams consistently. I'm talking, and when I mean good teams, obviously they've beaten Baltimore, they've beaten like Cincinnati and stuff because those teams are in the division. I'm talking like the upper echelon, the Kansas Cities, the New Englands before that this team consistently struggles with under Tomlin. And I know he knows ball. He knows ball. It's just he just has this thing where it's like it's just too old school now. The game's moving on, and he hasn't adjusted. This team can't run a 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. Almost every other NFL team can because they're adjusting. They're moving with the times. Tomlin hasn't moved with the times. And sometimes that old school stuff works. Sometimes it does. But against these good teams, it just doesn't work. So the only way that this team can go forward is if Tomlin can get some help. And let other people adapt with him. If he doesn't want to adapt, at least get guys that can adapt. And if he doesn't want to do none of that, then you got it. Then he can be traded. You know, there's a lot of reports going on right now. I guess one report, but it's a big report. It's from Adam Schefter that some teams might be calling for Mike Tomlin. I'm telling you right now. I think if a team wants to go call for Mike Tomlin, and he's like, you know, if he's open for it, then you kind of have to do it. You kind of have to move on. Because that's just where it starts. It all starts there. Actually, I want to say it all starts at the owner, but at the same time, I don't even know. The team just needs to be in the 21st century. I mean, this is ridiculous. The way they run this team, run on first down, just completely ruining the drive because you get a first and you don't even get like any yards. It's 2nd and 10 now, and then you got to run it again to try to hope to get some yards for 3rd down. And then Russell Wilson, we can get into that in a minute. I might make a separate video on the quarterback situation, but like the way that they set this team and this way that this team is run and just managed, none of these guys are getting the most out of their talents. It just doesn't seem that way. It seems like there's so much more meat left on the bone for these guys, and just none of them are hitting that level. And you gotta just put that on coaching at this point. It's time after time after time. It makes absolutely no sense. Obviously, the roster construction wasn't as good as we thought in the slightest. Either that or, again, the coaching just can't coach these guys up. Because I'm like blown away with the offensive skill players. I mean, like, come on, dude. Come on, bro. We have Van Jefferson still being our wide receiver, too. And it's like, you got to do better. You got to do better. If you want to run it a bunch, too, you got to have a freaking guy that can, like, do, like, a freaking Lamar Jackson light, okay, because Lamar can pass the damn ball. Have a Lamar light, Justin Fields, who can run the ball, who can be a threat to take it and go, so then the defense isn't just freaking sitting there and just being like, okay, do you want to run it? We'll just put every single guy up there. So it just starts with Mike Tomlin. He's got to adjust. They're going to lose this playoff game. I don't care about this playoff game because it's a clear loss, but they just need it all lands on him. They won't fire him ever. It'll be on his own accord, but he's got to learn he's got to go with the times, and Rooney's got to talk to him and tell him, hey man, it's time. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. I might make a follow up on this. I just need to get this off my chest. If you agree, like and subscribe. Steelers fans, just come in the comments. Just let me know what you think, and maybe I'll make a part about Russell Wilson and Justin Fields and all that. But yeah, take care, everyone. Stay safe out there.